co-founder of the Kelly Cares Foundation. Paqui Kelly is joining us today. Paqui, your husband, Notre Dame football coach Brian Kelly, says that you have never had a pity party. How do you stay so positive?
I just think people are wired a certain way, and I've always been the glass is half full and the sun's shining. It's not partly cloudy; it's always partly sunny, or the sun's going to break out soon. I don't know how to explain it. I just think I always kind of really I hate to be cliche, but God gives you what you can handle, and honestly, I think that this was his plan for me to share that with people and take this experience that some might see as very life shattering or stopping, and it doesn't have to be. And I don't think any experience has to be awful. I mean, there are ones we obviously would like to avoid if we can, but doing what you can to make good choices, I think that's on a palette of life. We all make decisions and we hope they're good decisions, and going back to making those decisions about your health, they start with, are you getting enough exercise? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating right? Are you doing your checkups that you should do? Those all come into play. And every day we try to, I'm not any poster child of perfection health for sure. And that's not just because I like French fries and, all that stuff too. But the reality is, every day we have to kind of work at that and to be better people and be a better healthy person, if you will. But I like to try to share my story because it does seem to help people, wrap around it and know that it's a beatable thing.
You've handled your breast cancer with such humor and grace. Tell us about the story when your wig goes flying off at the Christmas party.
Okay, so I didn't wear the wig very often. It was usually more at, bigger social events for the football team. And we were on the Cincinnati team, and we were just coming back from dinner from one of the bowl game festivities. And there was three families, coaches' families, the wives that were in there. And I was being sassy. And I don't remember really exactly what I said, but the kids were giggling, and the one mom, the door had just opened. It wasn't on our floor. It just opened, and I said something sassy, and she thumped me upside the head. And literally, when she did, my wig flew like off my head and out the elevator door. So then we all start busting the gut, and we're all these got 5 or 6, 7, 8 kids in there, and three moms just ha 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 ha. Well, I step out, and like I stepped out into like an atrium that was having a Christmas party. So I'm like, oh, kind of looked like I was a deer in headlights. So I just grabbed my hair and I go, well, that's the way you're going to feel about it. And I walk back into the elevator, and we just start laughing even louder. I'm sure they're like wondering what the heck was going on because they only just saw this bald lady come out, pick up her wig, and go back in the elevator. But the kids were just giggling so hard. I really, I never really made a big deal of it, and I tried to, I try to desensitize it only because I wanted the kids to understand that, sometimes people say, oh, she's bald and she's sick, and they take that tone. And if I was feeling fine, I want to make sure that they knew that I was feeling fine and that it was okay to ask. And it really helped, I think, my kids get through some stuff in terms of like at school, because kids, they were young. And I think one of the things I take back as a memory is one of the moms told me this when I left Cincinnati. We were packing up and moving, and another mom in the neighborhood got sick and was going to be going through breast cancer and treatment. And the third grader, who when he first met me, he was a kindergartner, and he kind of looked at me with big eyes like, "Where's your hair?" Like a true kindergartner would. And I said, "Well, it fell out because of my medicine, but it'll come back. Don't worry." And sure enough, it grew back in the 3 years. And some kid said that about this other mom. She said, "Gosh, she doesn't have any hair." He goes, "Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Kelly, she was bald too, and you should see how long her hair is now." So I feel like it taught that kid it's okay. It's just part of a phase and part of the treatment, but they're still the same person under there. So, it made me feel good. And the mom said, "I just want to let you know that's how it impacted him." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that."
Oh my gosh, I love that story. Talk about a perfect example of taking lemons, making lemonade, and adding a lot of kick.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Paqui Kelly, 2-time breast cancer survivor. and co-founder of Kelly Cares Foundation. You can reach me at www.kellycaresfoundation.org and get information about how we're trying to share and help people that need help relative to breast cancer research and awareness.